Hi, this is Ejaz Akram, the first one author in the world whose work on emotional hygiene is in detail and in a published form, which was published in 2015. Uh, uh, let's go to emotional hygiene first. Self esteem. What is self esteem? Self esteem, Psychology Today 2015 explained possessing little self regard can lead people to become depressed, fall short of their potential, or to tolerate abusive situation and relationship. Too much self-love, on the other hand, results in an off-putting sense of entitlement and an inability to learn from failures. It can also be a sign of clinical narcissism. Perhaps no other self topic has spawned so much advice and so many often conflicting theories. Emotional resilience, all about resilience. Psychology Today 2015 mentions resilience is that ineffable quality to that allows some people to be knocked down by life and come back stronger than ever. Those people who knocked down in life, emotional resilience help them to come back stronger than ever, rather than letting failure overcome them and drain their resolve. They find a way they find a way to rise from the ashes. It's like having a spring power. When life presses you down, you stay there for a while, then you go higher. If you got the positive attitude, psychologists have identified some of the factors that make someone resilient. Among them, a positive attitude, optimism, the ability to regulate emotions, and the ability to see failure as a form of helpful feedback. Even after a misfortune, resilient people are blessed with such an outlook that they are able to change course and soldier on. Vinci suggests return to happiness. How to return to happiness? To get you started, here are 5 tips for improving your emotional hygiene. Number 1, pay attention to emotional pain. If a physical ache or pain doesn't get better in a few days, you will probably take some kind of action. The same should be true of psychological pain. If you find yourself hurting emotionally for several days because of a rejection, a failure, a bad mood, or any other reason, it means you have sustained a psychological wound and you need to treat it with emotional first aid techniques. Number 2, stop emotional bleeding. Many psychological wounds launch vicious cycles that only make the pain worse. For example, failure can lead to a lack of confidence and feelings of helplessness that only make you more likely to fail again in the future. Having awareness of these consequences, catching these negative cycles, and stopping your emotional bleeding by correcting them is crucial in many such situations. Number 3, protect your self-esteem, which is very important. Our self-esteem acts as an emotional immune system which can buffer us and lend us greater emotional resilience. Therefore, we should get in the habit of monitoring our self-esteem, boosting it when it is low, and avoiding negative self-talk of the kind that damages in further. Number 4, battle negative thinking. It is the natural to think about distressing events, but when Our thinking become repetitive. We are no longer problem solving. We are ruminating. Ruminating can be very costly to our psychological health as well as to our physical health and can put us at risk for clinical depression and even cardiovascular disease. You can study the 7 hidden dangers of ruminating. We have to battle negative thinking and avoid falling into the habit of over focusing on distressing events. Number 5. Become informed about the impact of psychological wounds. There is much more we need to learn about it, about emotional hygiene and how to treat psychological wounds. Further, fortunately, much information is available, which you can do more researches, and also you can read on psychological today. When you learn how to treat psychological wounds and teach your children how to do so as well, you will not only build emotional resilience, you will thrive. Furthermore, Tessina is recommended that you should meet yourself. Take a time just checking in with yourself on a daily basis, knowing how you feel and what you think about whatever is going on in your life will make you happier and reduce your stress. Being kind to yourself and having a good relationship with you will make all your relationships with other people go more smoothly. Whether you realize it or not, the relationship you have with yourself, you can create a personal experience. The relationship you have with yourself sets the pattern for how you connect with others. Whatever relationship type you make with yourself, you establish these things with others as well. If you're happy, you will make other people happy relationship. So the pattern for how you connect with other people, that is the result of that. By developing a nurturing way to relate to yourself, you create a personal experience of both giving and receiving friendship. Knowing your feelings helps you make appropriate choices in every phase of your life. A big advantage of knowing who you are is knowing how to pamper and comfort yourself. When you are stressed or tired, use what you have learned about your style to develop a style for recharging and relaxing. What makes you most comfortable? Ask yourself, what makes you most comfortable? What suits you? What helps you recharge? It can be anything from a bubble bath, a yoga session, or your favorite music, to a long walk in the countryside, or a phone conversation with your best friend, or a nap. Make a list of your favorite personal recharger. What recharge you? Make a list. Make sure the list includes simple things which you can do it easily. I mean, if you make expensive list and then you can't afford it in some point of your life, that's not good. Make it that one which you can do it easily and without costing you much. So make sure the list includes simple things you can do cheaply, such as relax with a cup of tea and read a favorite book, to things that are very special, such as spend a day at a bed and breakfast, or have a massage or a facial. Keep the list where you can refer it to whenever you feel in need of a recharge and make use of it often. Some people believe being a good friend to yourself is selfish, but you will discover that it is really the opposite. Because of you maintain your internal friendship, it becomes easier to be a good friend to others and to recognize when others are good friend to you. The next step is clear out resentment and bitterness. Clinging to resentment can be very destructive. Resentment comes from not wanting to take responsibility for yourself. You have been disappointed, but you don't want to really acknowledge it. And you also don't want to do the work of choosing a new goal. So you avoid it by wallowing in self-pity. If what happened to that you are resenting mimics a previous trauma or your worst nightmare, you have been betrayed again, you are more likely to sink into bitterness. It is self-fulfilling prophecy and it feels like you are doomed. It is a mental mechanism keep you from having to grow up. Delete all those pictures which are in your mind, all that album which are in your mind, making you sad because past has nothing to show you new. That's old. You don't need that anymore. Dr. Tessina advised how to get over it. Number one, swear of guilt. Guilt is like time payments. You can keep suffering forever. Instead, do the grieving you need to do. Figure out how you help create the problem or stayed around for them and decide to change what didn't work before. Grieve all you need, but don't exaggerate your feelings. Don't exaggerate your feelings. Sometimes people think too much. They take too much. Even a small thing, they take too much. Don't do that. Number two, don't assign blame. If you blame someone else, you will eventually turn that blame on yourself. So instead of blaming, find some more neutral to say. We saw things differently. I gave it my best shot, but it didn't work. Number three, focus on rebuilding your life. Focus on rebuilding your life. Resentment is not practical. It is a negative fantasy. Focus on the practical things you need to do and think. Get your emotional, personal, and financial life together as soon as you can. Think about all the things you have been freed up to do and do some of them. Try things you would never have done before or things you have always wanted to do. As Gatsby said, living well is the best revenge. Living well is the best revenge. Remember this. Use the energy from your anger and grief and channel them into doing things just for you. Try out for the local theater, ask or take dancing classes or an art class or whatever make you happy. Learn to scuba dive, get a pet or plant a garden. All of those things will keep you focused on the present and the future instead of the past. Keep doing something. Keep yourself busy. In addition, she suggested the three things to create more happiness, which are mentioned below. Maintain your happiness, doing what you can to bring as much happiness as possible to yourself and others. Being happy is undeniable good for you. The endorphins it releases reduce stress and pain, and boost your health and immune system. Not to mention make you glad to be alive and pleasant to be around. There are three things you can do to create more happiness in your life. Number one, gratitude. Remember to notice and be thankful for whatever you have, what your friends, family, and partner do for and give to you. Number two, generosity. Giving to others, especially giving thanks and kindness, will make you happy because most others will give back. Number three, ethics. Living your life according to a set of ethics that make sense to you will make you feel good about yourself and increase your happiness, including set aside regular time for yourself. Me time is important for nurturing your relationship with yourself. It is proof that you care about yourself. Just as when your friend and or partner spends time with you, you feel cared about. Take it as seriously as your business appointments or dates with other people you love. Every Thursday, I used to go to karate class and had some lunch by my own. No invitation to anyone, just I spent time with myself. I almost never skip this and I don't invite anyone to join me. It is my time. Or I spend time in bed or reading something or feeling relaxed. That's my time. Or spending my time exploring new things in my mind. It's my time for me and it helps me stay on an even keel. Then spend time with people you love. Being with people you care about and who care about you is a great way to affirm your values as a person and to confirm that your life has meaning and purpose. Make sure you take good care of your friendship and family relationships. It is great way to take care of you. Next is emotional maintenance. Dr. Tina says emotional maintenance means thinking about emotional health and staying in touch with your feelings.